my passionate and loyal Scorpio friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. A Scorpio, you know the feeling even before it's named, a quiet pressure building beneath the surface, a hush that hangs in the air between moments. There's something you're holding, perhaps not even consciously, but it shapes the way you move through the world this week. It is that sense of standing at a crossroads, aware that much is being weighed even when little is being said. Old questions resurface, not to be solved in a hurry, but to be lived with, pondered, and gently respected. You might sense a subtle defensiveness in yourself, a tendency to guard your heart, to keep your cards close. This is not avoidance, but a carefulness that comes from knowing how much is at stake. You're not one to shy away from your own depths, but even you can be caught between the desire to know and the need to wait. The air hums with anticipation, and you feel it in your chest, in your hands, in every glance that lingers a moment too long. You are preparing, even if you're not sure for what. This week, the Two of Swords quietly underscores your inner landscape. It doesn't shout, but it is unmistakable, a sense of holding two truths at once, each with weight neither easily set aside. You may notice moments when you hesitate, not from indecision exactly, but from a deep wish to honor both sides of a matter. There is a tension in your chest, like your whole being is listening for a signal that hasn't yet arrived. Sometimes you feel the urge to act, to make a choice and break the stalemate. Other times you find yourself sitting with the discomfort, letting it wash over you, refusing the easy way out. This is a space of reflection, but not passivity. It is the awareness that some things can only be met with patience. You may catch yourself replaying certain conversations, wondering if you've missed something or if someone else has missed you. In the quiet moments, early morning, late at night, there's a heightened sensitivity to what is unsaid. You are keenly aware of the lines you will not cross, and also of the ones you wish you could. In relationships, this might mean holding back a truth, not out of deception, but out of care, out of a sense that timing matters. You may feel the burden of others' expectations, or perhaps your own, and it weighs on you more than you admit. Yet beneath the surface there is a growing clarity. You are not lost in confusion, but in the process of honoring complexity. The Two of Swords is not about winning or losing, but about respecting the dignity of waiting, the wisdom of the pause. From this place of stillness something shifts. The tension you carry is not in vain, it is a crucible in which your next movement is forged. The very act of holding space for contradiction creates the conditions for something new to emerge. The pressure you feel pushes you toward clarity, not because you force an answer, but because you become ready to receive one. Life, as it always does, presents you with a moment, a conversation, a realization, a simple truth that feels sharper than what came before. The stalemate cannot last forever, and you sense the change in the air before you see it. The inner work of waiting becomes the outer work of engaging. This is where the Ace of Swords enters, cutting cleanly through the fog. It is not always a dramatic revelation. Sometimes it's a simple sentence you hear yourself say, or a decision you suddenly realize has already been made in your heart. There is a momentum to this week, a sense that the world is asking you to be precise, to stand behind what you know, even if it's only a small piece of the puzzle. The friction comes from the need to express yourself clearly, to articulate what you have been holding inside. Pressure may arrive from outside as well, a deadline, a request, a truth that someone else will not let go unspoken. This is not about confrontation for its own sake, but about the relief that comes from honesty. You may feel a sudden urge to clear the air, to name what has been unnamed. There is a freshness to your thoughts, a brightness to your words, yet this clarity is not without its costs. It can make some relationships feel more exposed and some old patterns less comfortable. The Ace of Swords doesn't allow you to hide. It insists on transparency, on cutting through what no longer serves. The energy can feel exhilarating and raw, like the first breath after holding it for too long. Each choice you make now carries extra significance, as if your actions are carving out a new path, one step at a time. The momentum may feel relentless at times, demanding your presence, your attention. Underneath it all, the friction isn't just between you and others. It's between your old ways of coping and the new possibilities you are just beginning to see. The week is charged, not with chaos, but with the clean energy of truth finding its way to the surface. Yet, even as you move forward, it's clear that your growth is not guaranteed by circumstances alone. The clarity you find must be met with care, not just for others, but for yourself. The potential of this moment depends on how you show up for what is real, not just in thought, but in practice. The invitation is to allow the sharpness of truth to be tempered by compassion. It is easy to cut, harder to nurture what remains. Conscious engagement is what turns a breakthrough into lasting change. The choices you make in the coming days, how you speak, how you listen, how you tend to what matters, these are the alchemies that shape the outcome. The Queen of Pentacles reminds you that growth is not only about insight, but about integration. You hold within you the capacity to take what has been revealed and turn it into something nourishing, something stable, but only if you are willing to be present for the whole process, from tension to clarity to care. The Queen of Pentacles waits at the far side of this week, not as a destination, but as an invitation. She offers a vision of groundedness, a sense of being at home in your own experience. There is a warmth to her presence, a reminder that abundance is not just a matter of resources, but of attention. You are invited to see where your clarity can become a form of care. The truths you name do not have to divide. They can become a foundation for deeper connection with yourself and with others. It is possible to hold space for your own needs without closing off to the needs of the world around you. There is a steadiness available, a way of moving through your days that honors both honesty and kindness. This is not about perfection, but about a willingness to cultivate what is real. Growth, in this sense, is a quiet practice, showing up, tending to the details, letting your actions align with your values. You may find yourself drawn to simple rituals of comfort, to the small gestures that make a space feel safe. The Queen of Pentacles knows that true stability comes not from rigid control, but from gentle stewardship. You are capable of creating the conditions for your own well-being, and for the well-being of those you care about. The invitation is to trust that what is revealed can be held, tended, and slowly transformed into something lasting. When you look back on the week, you might see how each stage has led seamlessly into the next. The tension of the Two of Swords was not a flaw, but a necessary part of your process, a sign that you care enough to wait for what is true. The momentum of the Ace of Swords did not come out of nowhere. It grew from your willingness to sit with discomfort, to let clarity find you. And the promise of the Queen of Pentacles is not a reward for having done everything right, but an ongoing invitation to live more deeply in your own life. Each card is a chapter in a larger story, one where you are both the author and the reader. The unease you started with becomes the ground for insight, and insight becomes the ground for care. You do not have to resolve everything at once. It is enough to notice how far you have come, simply by being present for each moment as it arises. The week may not offer dramatic closure, but it offers something better, a growing sense of trust in your own process. There is room now for gentleness, for steadiness, for a quiet confidence that you can hold what comes. The story is still being written, but for now there is peace in knowing you are exactly where you need to be. Actionable insights for Scorpio this week. Let yourself pause before speaking, just to notice how the words feel inside. Try preparing your favorite meal with full attention, noticing each step as a small act of care. Spend a few minutes tending to your personal space, arranging one corner just for your comfort. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I let myself be exactly where I am. My clarity can arrive quietly in its own time. I honor what I feel, even when it is complex. Care and honesty can live in the same breath. I am enough, steady and sure. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.